I could still hear the call of the gulls over the old fisherman's dock. At this point, pretty hustle and bustle with a lot of fishermen, small boats, even some larger ones. Port hadn't been that well developed yet. The cool breeze swept down the street, across the open doors and windows, rattling them gently in their hinges as shopkeepers began to set up their stalls. We just finished fishing. We had a pretty good haul. 5 or 6 bass. And, trout? Perch? Don't remember. Probably a fucking perch. A few of my merchants that I routinely talked to had already set up their shop, and they were used to the system, so I walked up with my bucket of fresh fish, and I leaned over to start bartering. I could hear the girl behind me. A.S. Glenn was playing with something. Sounded like she was still on the sidewalk, though, so that was good. I was working on negotiating my deal, trying to get some fresh food, and I found myself elevating my voice as one of those cars approached. A sudden clatter, then a shriek. A scream as though a banshee had pierced across the veil of death and into my very soul. The grind of wooden wheels coming off of the cobblestone and onto the paved walkway. A horrendous noise. The noise of flesh, bone, steel, compressing in an unnatural, undesirable, and permanent fashion. Quiet. Next was quiet. Everything. Not the whistle of the tickle wagon. Not the call of the gulls. Not the shopkeepers staring in mortified disbelief. Nothing. I can't remember what I saw. Only what I felt. And the things that stand out when you're in that position, in that ungodly, unforgiving, inescapable predicament, they are strange. I don't remember the body. I don't remember the blood that I assume was there. I remember the lifelessness on the paved stone. I remember both poles cast aside haphazardly. I remember the small wooden box of tackle scattered across the walk. I don't even remember the car. I only know that it was. That night came and went at some point that my mind is forgiving enough to not allow me to remember. I believe I ended up at home. I remember some sort of argument, or maybe it was just retelling the news. I do remember the next morning going to the watch to make my case. Walking through the town. Alone.
Oh my, tragic thing. I knew those things were dangerous. Yes, tragic.
I could feel the pressure of people looking at me, but attempting to not be caught in the act. Turning sharply away Ever my gaze crossed theirs, but the pressure of their observation was there. After the watch,
but we don't arrest nobles.
Know there were a matter of days, but cannot recall how many or their content. And then the court proceedings arrived. I was not at the court, but I did receive notice from
this court hearing is a farce.
The squire of the courts.
Giants aren't people.
I can't tell you what the document said.
This is a waste of my time.
If it makes sense, I remember reading...
Case dismissed.
Rage. Wrath. A dire, paternal need for undealt vengeance. Justice that must be administered in a cruel and unforgiving world. Wrath. Rage. The periodic subtlety of sadness attempting to push through. Wrath. Rage. Nothing else. No one barred my entry at the door. Not that they could have. I don't remember the layout of the house, but eventually I found the man guilty. The murderer. In his home, in his fine garments. No guilt. No remorse. I called to him, begging him to take accountability for what he had done. Denial. Rage. This was not acceptable. The dull pain in my hands as they struck an unwilling target. The tension of my arms and back as they hurled my wrath into the oh-so-deserving culprit. A sudden, sharp pain in my calf. A new assailant. Some sort of hound, perhaps a dog. Some large tamed wolf. It could have been a bear. It did not matter. Whether dog, or wolf, or bear, my wrath delivered it unto a new existence. A weapon. Standing in the courtyard, the gentle flutter and flap of brightly colored fine textiles hanging from loom and washing strand. The quick clatter of guards approaching.
Oh my god.
I could see the fear in their eyes. I'm
what has he done?
Sure I was quite the spectacle, covered in blood, and already distrusted by men of nearly half my stature. They hesitantly called for me not to resist. Pleading, more than commanding. I felt the hard stone of the courtyard walkway meet my knees, as I fell to my position, accepting my fate like the man I left in the room behind me could not. On that day, justice was served to two men. One whose parenthood brought him above the law, and one who fell to his knees to receive it.
Welcome back to Torchlit Tavern, everybody. I'm your overweight bailiff with no real opinion on the case. To my left
is Jeff. once again playing the Gentleman Skeleton, Mr. Grimm. Or, if at all it ever comes up, the Gelatin Skeleman.
Mr. Bim.
Jeff, I love you, man. I'm so glad you joined us.
Sorry, Mr. Bim really got me.
And to his left.
And to my left.
He who named him such a ridiculous thing, Papadopoulos, as played by Strana.
It's your fault.
It is my fault. And to my left...
Is the wait is over for this bailiff who has an opinion on this case. It is the Dylan boy. If he is good, if he is bad, that is your opinion at this point now. And to my left.
To his left is Mitch, the rad dad that went bad dad after he got a little bit mad dad.
Wow.
I'm
Bruce.
impressed and angry.
Yeah, that was good. All right. We pick up the morning of the case. I'm going to skip straight to it.
Does Bruce, at
Jesus.
some point during his internment, have the opportunity to talk to the young palace guard?
Oh, sorry. That's the one thing that I wanted to do. We'll pick up with you guys in the court. I have one more scene before that. So, yes.
Gentleman Skeleman?
No.
Balls.
All right. So, yeah, you guys... It's important to note for Dylan, now that he has his memories back, little things. You realize that, like, you know the story. You spent enough times in bars to know why Bruce is the way he is. Like, now that you have your memories back, you know this. You know the story. You know that anytime when you were little, if you mentioned Bruce to your father, he would go into, like, a rage about it and say that he didn't want to talk about it, but it would make him angry. Almost violently so. He hates Bruce. Bob, you picked up the story of how Bruce first got imprisoned because you came around the time when he got freed. And being a person who looks into things, you know, in bars, you got the story. It's a bar time favorite.
Yes. And when the little people got it on the big people.
And you don't know anything about anyone here.
You're correct.
One of my favorite lines ever.
Me too. I don't know anyone at all.
By the way,
You didn't even doff your imaginary hat, you scum-sucking fuck.
Did fail.
Who do you think you are?
I'm not him.
The Jello Man, Skeleton Man, Mr. Bim?
I was definitely that.
Jeff's head is in his hat.
I've killed Jeff for the second time.
We're off to a great start.
It's a good start to this game. Good
All right.
start.
Bruce, you wake up in your cell to a weird sound. There's a cell next to you, and a man is cursing and cussing at a couple of palace guards who've got him by the shoulders and are throwing him in the cell. It's like, unhand me, you bastard, you ruffians! How dare you! And they give him the finger, throw him in a cage, and walk away, and he dusts himself off, and you look to your left, and you see somebody you vaguely remember. But maybe Bruce doesn't necessarily know who he is. Because I don't know if Bruce would remember.
Man, that's a lot of humans.
Yes. But he looks at you and he goes, oh, this is your fault that I'm here.
Yeah, no. Not
Yes,
this time, no.
No, it's you. They are saying that I aided and abetted you.
Bullshit. No one fucking helped me. I'm a goddamn Goliath. I don't get help from soft-boned pinkies like you. The hell are you talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe you don't recognize me when I'm right side up.
I forgot.
Bruce just sits there and he's counting on his fingers in his head.
Counting on his fingers in his head.
Yeah.
How does one do that?
I'm doing it right now, but they can't see it.
No, I'm
He's
imagining.
counting on his fingers, but he's counting in his head instead of out loud.
I was just imagining you imagining a hand on
Todd!
Alec LaCourte. You were dangling me, asking information. No, fuck you.
What, dude? Look, real talk. I dangle a lot of you. Like a lot. It's kind of like a hobby.
You make a habit of dangling tax collectors.
Oh, I'm not specific. I'm rather indiscriminate.
Right. Anyway, it got me into some trouble because apparently I'm the reason that you accosted the Deuce and his friend. Fucking stupid guards. They don't listen. 20 years of loyal service.
I get it. You're an accessory to a crime. It makes sense.
Oh, fuck you.
No,
I was tortured.
I was a guard for 2 weeks. You're fucked. You're an accessory to a high priority asset, apprehension. It's just...
I was an innocent man accosted by thugs in the street.
Should have kept your mouth shut, Pinky.
Oh my god.
And to be fair, if I accosted you in the street, I wouldn't have had anywhere to dangle you from, now would I?
Oh, I'm sorry, you accosted me on a roof.
In your home, yes.
Yeah, about that. You owe me a door.
I knocked.
When the door falls down, is that a knock?
No, the knock is before the door falls down.
Anyway, they've locked me in here, and they seem to think that, well, I know how these things go. I'm screwed, you're right.
Nice to meet you, Bruce.
I know who you are. I am Alec LeCourt, as I said. Royal tax collector and, well, felon?
Accessory to a felony assault.
They're going to kill me with you.
Probably.
Yeah. Do you have anything to say to this guy?
I just wait him out for like 3 hours.
He's kind of
I just let him stew.
staring at you. Then, like, the first hour, he's just staring at you like he blames you for everything wrong with his life. And then a couple more hours go by, he kind of makes himself home in his cell. And then by the third hour, he's like, so, how long do you think we're going to be here?
Well, they might not kill you. You might get to rot in the dungeon. Pretty sure they're gonna kill me tomorrow. Probably not be hanging because I'm kind of heavy. So for me, about 18 hours. You between 18 hours and 45 years. How old are you?
I'm 38?
Yeah, about 45 years, yeah.
Pause. Did you get de-armored as well?
Yes.
Eventually.
Fair point
No,
of contention
no,
for the sake of, you're like, I'm pretty heavy. And I'm thinking,
I'm pretty sure they called in mages at some point to bop the shit out of Bruce.
Yeah.
Sleep, damn you. Sleep. Hit him again.
So you're going to escape, right? You're a criminal? You've been here for murdering a noble before. Assaulting one in the street should be no problem. You've got a plan. And I'm in on it. Yes? Because you got me in here, you should help me get out.
Look, ain't my fault you squealed.
It is your fault that I squealed. It is directly your fault that I squealed. I'm a squealer. You made me squeal.
Yeah, not the fault. Anyway, maybe. To answer your question, maybe.
I feel like you're not getting my attitude. I don't want to die or be locked up. You were threatening to beat me or kill me. So I did what I needed to do, just as I am going to do now to get out of this predicament.
Yeah.
What will it take for you to help me get out of here?
Well, first of all, I have to be able to get myself out of here.
Solid. I might be able to help with that.
Alright.
I'm the royal tax collector.
I imagine that comes with the amount of dirt. I mean, that's why I was shaking you.
Yeah. I know that the Deuce was taking bribes and money from people who did not
See?
owe taxes.
It's your fault you're gonna get dead. I'm just the excuse.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah, dumbass. Anyway. You were saying?
Anyway, he was taking money from someone in the Mages Guild.
Big surprise.
And then he was giving money to someone in the Mages Guild.
Bigger surprise. I didn't see it in him, giving stuff to people.
I mean, he didn't. He made me do it for him. I never knew who it was. It was at a Dropbox, but it's definitely a mage. I'm assuming a teacher.
Sounds reasonable. So, you've got dirt, but unless you got a shovel, it's not going anywhere. I'm not even allowed to have dirt, as you can see. And Bruce gestures at the floor within 30 feet of his cell.
What will you do with dirt?
Nothing. It used to be stones and bad things.
He starts prying at one of his stones in the corner far away from yours. But he sucks.
He's got human regular.
A for effort.
Think if I got one of these stones up, we could dig our way out?
Well, my bars have been magically fixed, but I could probably beat this shit out of your bars.
We could try it.
Can you reach from your bars to his bars?
If we're conjoined.
Yeah.
So why don't you just try to yank one of his bars out?
I think for
because immediately next to me, they've been cemented into the ground with mud to stone to mud to stone.
Yeah, there's no bars that he can reach. So for headcanon, it's the cell next to his, but he can see the guy. So I'm gonna have to go with across.
Or it depends on the setup, because sometimes it would just be a line of bars across the front and then bars in between.
Yeah, which would mean the bars of his whole cell are cemented in a way that he couldn't.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, he
reach over to the non-magic bars and sledgehammer them with a rock.
So Alec steps up to the bar and he's like, anyway, no hard feelings about dangling me, even though it was a incredibly unpleasant experience, and I hate you for it.
Effective.
And unpleasant. I pray no one ever dangles you. Nope, I take that back. I hope they dangle you. I hope they dangle you a lot.
I'm not gonna lie, that'd be an interesting experience.
I mean, if they find a way to hang you, you might feel it. Steel
I
cable.
know you're a noble, but
oh no, not at all.
They don't.
Merchant's son.
Okay, that explains why you're dumb. They don't hang you by your feet; they hang you by your neck. So no, it'd be completely different.
Excuse me, I didn't assault a noble in the open street.
I didn't either. I tried to arrest one with rocks
Without a badge.
at 30 yards.
Without a badge.
I don't think that was the issue that they caught me on.
He holds out his hand. He's like, well, from one idiot to another. It's nice to meet you under better circumstances.
Bruce gently shakes his hand.
Yeah, all the way across the... That doesn't make sense, damn it.
Yeah, the gap is...
Or are we going with the sideways?
I would go linear.
Yeah, we'll go linear. Yeah, you're in adjacent cells like a Western-style jail, which is not the way a dungeon typically be made, but this is like the holding area more than the dungeon.
It's efficient. You need less metal.
Yeah, this is more like the holding area than the dungeon itself. And he reaches across and he shakes his hands.
You could put cement walls in between the two doors. Or in between, so it would be door, cement wall, or...
We're getting really stuck on architecture, guys.
Yeah.
It's about to matter. To be fair,
Yeah, it always matters when Bruce is involved.
Yeah, D&D is a weird thing where weird things do very much
are there
matter.
things I can break? Because I have a strength of 20.
Yeah. What's that made out of?
Can't break it.
Okay, what's its con score?
I want to break it.
Yeah, so he reaches out and he shakes your hand and he says, but really, fuck you.
Bruce bounces him off the bars.
Ow! Fair.
It still was soft with the handshake.
I mean, not fair. I owe you one. I just have no idea how I would do that. And you're a friend at the moment?
Yeah.
You could roll insight. Unless Bruce is down to die.
Bruce may or may not be on the high score path. Because Bruce doesn't see a way out. But Bruce also isn't gonna, let this guy die for no reason. That's not cool. The fuck?
I mean, there's a reason. And it's not even Bruce's fault, but...
19. Inside 19.
This guy's on the up and up. He wants to help you. He does not want to die here. He's willing to help you to do so.
Yeah, I should figure that.
It's pretty straightforward.
The other reason I was like, do I even need to roll? He doesn't want to die. Like, I believe that.
You feel that given any moment, he would roll on you if it would save his ass.
Yeah, it's...
But he also seems like, as indignified as he is by being dangled, you can tell he is way more pissed off that they threw him in jail over this. He is furious about it, you can tell.
So, you got any dirt on any of their guards? Because let me tell you, we're in a dungeon being manned by palace guards, who are basically all giant sacks of shit. And, you could probably sell your freedom to one of them for information.
Why would you tell me this if it doesn't help you?
Because I am going to kill 2 men tomorrow, if they have their way.
Alright, so it's the day of the court hearing. You guys have all taken seats. You're with the Thane, part of his contingent.
Did Bruce's palace guard friend ever happen across him in the dungeon?
No.
Okay.
Grim, do you care? Are you here?
Do I care? Not super technically, but I mean,
Would you follow along?
Hang on, better question.
this'll be
How entertaining would this be for you? I mean, knowing that Bruce got put in jail for sniping a dude with cobblestones again.
So what I'll say is, knowing that he's going to put on trial and potentially face death, and like having already had some pretty interesting talks with Bruce, right? Me and Bruce aren't on the best terms, but I've found him intriguing. I also know he's got that eye that means something to me to some extent.
He's a looker.
And I've been spending a lot of time with the Moors guys, so maybe I've spent time with what's-his-face.
Who's his face?
Who lives at his house.
The elf.
Oh, sure. Yeah, they probably dropped by the church. Have you been spending, like, your time at the church?
That's where he lives.
Yeah. Like,
Where I live.
yeah, there's no reason for you to go to the tavern, really.
And I already have a church, and he wants a church.
Yeah,
Everybody needs
you
a
don't-
church.
Theramendor.
Yeah,
Aramendor and Below.
Yes. Aramendor and Belok, yes. Yeah, I have no real reason to go to the tavern. I don't typically eat. I don't need to. Every once in a while I enjoy tea and clean myself up.
Alright. Let's do this. You've been spending a lot of time at the Church of Morse. Hornig is getting into a very fine cleric specimen, and he looks at you. He's like, there's a very important function going on at the castle. They're holding court. The church heads are invited. Do you want to learn about human politics?
I'm intrigued. Who's involved in this?
Well, I believe a friend of yours, Bruce, is going to be on trial.
Oh, the Giantling. Yes.
Yes.
No, he's they've got a different name. What are they called?
He's like, well, come, it's happening now. And he gives you a rundown that Bruce is going to be on trial. This is also the first court hearing, or the first court session in which the Deuce will be full on in charge of the goings-on because his brother is so sick. And he explains to you the sort of politics behind that a little bit. The election, that their kings are elected, that as long as the king survives, then the Deuce is king, because we need a healthy ruler.
I feel as though this is a ridiculous policy. I have the mask by this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
he recommends that you find a way to not be a skeleton.
right, and as we're walking, I go, "Hold on, I've got something here." I pull out this fucking skin mask and I take off my hat, put it on my cane, and my cane just stands up in the ground.
Oh, that's fantastic. I mean, it wouldn't. You could do it while walking. The cane would just.
Yeah, and the cane just keeps going, and
Yeah.
He just keeps walking next to you, holding your hat.
That's
and
fantastic.
then I throw the mask on and I put my hat back on and I grab up the cane. How do I look?
It's a beautiful word picture. You look horrifying.
Perfect.
Yeah.
If I'm going to look like you mortals, at least I should still be intimidating.
Oh, Very much so. You look like a meth addict on a bender.
What's a meth addict?
Person who is so dried out they are basically a ghoul with a beating heart.
What's meth?
Meth is the river in hell.
Fair play.
Ghoul dust.
Ghoul dust.
Ghoul dust.
No, that's a wrestler.
Ground up ghoul. Ghoul dust.
Yes.
There's actually a pro wrestler named Gold Dust. That's really fucking.
No, I know.
And all of that is canon. Meth is ghoul dust from gold dust.
Yeah.
It's,
Meth is officially ghoul dust, or ground up ghouls. There is a wrestler named Ghoul Dust in the World Wrestling Federation that travels from town to town.
No, World Wrestling Federation is copyright. On top of another copyright.
Fair enough. So in
what's
the
the name of the
Sharian
world?
Wrestling
There you
Foundation.
go.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Cut the
Foundation, even not even Federation. Foundation. I like
Foundation,
it.
yeah.
Really changed
So
it.
what I'm hearing is,
The
after
charitable.
the campaign, I need to become a pro wrestler and go fight Ghoul Dust.
Absolutely.
next character.
So, court starts. There is everybody's gathered. You guys are in your seats, and Bruce, you've been before it begins. Two palace guards walk in. And it's like it's time for your trial,
Alright.
and you recognize the young one that you met on the docks a while back, and who was around during your last trial. He's like, kind of waves from behind the other guard. First friendly face you've seen, even besides your party members recently, minus Alec LaCourte, who's a friend of me.
So, have I seen this card before? The other guard?
You might have seen him
Do I
sail
have
it.
any
He might have
reason-
been flying 15 feet through the air the last time you saw him.
So I don't recognize him. Got it. Bruce is polite to this card then.
Okay, and so they've got some really heavy shackles that look like they've got runes on them, and he goes to open the door, and he goes, "What the fuck is this?"
That's a door. That's a lock.
No, it's not. It's plastered. What is it? Is this silver? What? Oh, okay. Hold on. I'll be right back. Watch him.
Leave it to the palace guard to make locks out of silver and then forget how to use them.
So
the kid guard walks up and is like looking at the lock. What'd you do to it?
Oh, I didn't do shit. That's magic. I don't do magic.
Right. So what? The plan is to stay in here now?
Step one, fuck him. It's going great. Step two, go to the tinderbox. Tell Kendra you need access to Bruce's room. There's a folio with a paperwork documentation sleeve under the bed.
I don't know that I can just go right now. Like, we're all getting ready for this. Is real important. I can't leave.
It's
Also,
cool.
I don't know that I should. Why should I help you? You know what they say about you around here?
Probably that only twice have I killed a man that didn't deserve it, and one of them was a woman. And probably that no one here knows the names of those two people.
I mean, who deserves it is definitely up for debate. The story is you beat a noble to death in his home with his dog who didn't deserve it.
What would your father do if I were to kill you right now?
He takes a step back. I imagine he would try to make sure you died.
I didn't try.
Oh. Okay. What is it you want?
There's a document.
Actually, in the interest of D&D, roll a dice.
I'm rolling that 30.
In the interest of pretending...
What am I doing?
Persuasion. You're trying to convince this guard to do something that would put them at
risk,
yeah. This is definitely a roll.
10.
Total of 10?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I can do that.
I would like you to get that done before I'm dead. But if you're not able to do that, you sure as hell get that done after I'm dead.
I mean, they're not gonna... Even if they try you today, they're not gonna kill you today.
Sure. I mean, depends on how long it takes them to get that lock open.
Yeah, for real, what did you do?
Nothing.
There's silver in it. It looks like somebody chewed up gum and then stuffed it in, but that gum was silver.
Yeah, I didn't do anything. Even I can't chew up silver. Well, I never tried. Anyway.
Okay, yeah, they're probably gonna bring a mage.
You want to be a good guard. Be a good guard.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And,
If you need, you just say that, you say to yourself that you're investigating the murder of the Deuce.
alright, reroll your check, but this time, you've officially kicked into advantage.
Yeah!
Dead
Advantage! 22.
Alright. Okay. After this, I'll see what I can do.
Sure.
But I pulled a lot of strings to try to be on your guard detail today, so
Appreciate it.
I think if I disappeared, they would look even weirder, because I kind of made us think about it all week.
No worries.
And as he says that, the guard comes back with the court wizard, who's like, oh my, what? Okay, somebody had a transmuter visitor, I see. This is, oh man, this is going to be rough. I mean, I could turn it back into water, maybe? But even that. Yeah, okay.
Bruce grabs him.
Huh? Okay,
And so it goes.
roll a check.
There's no way you gotta.
We're not really
You
having
gotta
a trial,
fuck
are
this
we?
up.
I fucked it up. I only had 8.
For what?
14.
Wow, you fucked that
He
up.
did. You grab him, but he's in loose robes, and they just tear off. So now there's a court wizard standing in his underwear, going, "Oh my god!"
Bruce just hands him back his robes. Sorry, I was just fucking with you.
No, here's the thing. You just took all his spell components.
I need those.
Sorry,
Yeah, I need those.
Look, I was just fucking with you. And Bruce just holds the robes out to him.
The guard reaches over to grab the robes, takes them away.
Yeah, Bruce wants
Okay,
him.
takes them away, gives them back to the wizard, and then brandishes his sword to step away from the bars, Bruce.
That's a rude way to ask.
Your friend reaches over and pushes the sword down and says, "Bruce, please stand back from the bars."
I appreciate your concern with courtesy.
Do you?
Bruce steps back.
Okay. I need to ask these things. Yeah, you say that. Just
The
Bruce step
action
back.
surge just jumps ahead.
Exactly, yeah. And
I've been here before, man. I know how this goes.
basically, my question, how surly is Bruce about getting pulled out of the cell? When you appear in front of the court, did they call in 10 more guards?
Oh, no, Bruce totally lets the dude work his magic. Bruce takes a couple steps back, undoes his trousers,
No.
and pisses on the lock from where he stands.
Oh.
You're an animal.
Roll an attack roll.
It's a range attack roll with an improvised weapon, I believe.
Oh, fuck.
I'm cutting away before the result.
Dexterity.
Shit, Bruce
No.
has got,
Legit. I'm cutting away for the result.
Bruce has got low dex. Alright,
What's
so it's a
proficiency?
minus
He's cutting
1
away!
plus 7. Alright, so Bruce rolls a...
Alright.
You're a bitch.
You guys are in court. Everyone's taking their seats.
I'm with my dad.
You're with your dad. You gave him a copy? The copy?
No, I gave my copy.
You gave him your copy, so John still has one.
To my knowledge, I have taken any copy that is important.
No, for the DM.
Yes.
Okay. You didn't make a new copy.
Nope.
Okay.
Because this one has all the signatures of the Deuce and everyone.
Okay.
Because I made them sign every one of them. Every copy.
They were all signed in duplicate.
Yeah, triplicate, actually.
When you're forging a signature, do you have to make a roll? Or do you just do that?
I think
That's a mean fucking power.
I think if I was forging a signature, I'd probably have to roll...
would
because
hope
there's a
so.
forging kit.
Okay,
That I
cool.
use.
You'd need a kit. Okay.
I had to roll for the fortune kit back when I made these contracts.
Got it. Fuck, we should have saved that roll. Fuck.
But
Maybe we can look it up.
all these contracts are basically identical to each other and all signed by the Deuce, by
So you recall you rolled high.
if I remember, by Brandon, by Bruce, and by the Marquis Patrick Simmons.
And he's using all originals, so there's actually no fraud on any of them.
And
Well, other than the Marquis Patrick Simmons.
well,
Yeah.
actually, that one I believe I
But-
marked it with a signet ring.
Still would be fraud.
Technically.
Fine, Marquis
Sorry,
Patrick.
there's no forgery.
Okay.
Yes.
There's no forgery. is what I
Marquis
was going
Patrick
for.
Simmons can sue me.
From
Dark.
the grave.
Okay. You're with your Thane. Is there anything else anybody wants to make last comment before we begin?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay.
You got some on your face.
Yeah, you
It's in
guys
his
see Bruce is down at the foot of everything. There's like a second story that most of you guys are on. It's like theater seating, the people on the second tier. And there are more common people, merchants and stuff, are down below. Bruce is front row center, surrounded by 15 palace guards and a slightly soggy mage.
I'm just saying this is all really unnecessary.
What happened to the mage?
And the Deuce comes out after you're all seated, and the A-Town, or a crier says, "All hail High Regent Robert!"
Is there anything
A
under
second.
Bruce? Because Bruce sits.
You are currently, you have the magic shackles, and you are shackled to the floor.
Bruce sits.
On the ground?
Yes.
Okay.
To disrespect the man, they said.
I stand.
He's all out of piss.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
If I knew this shit, I would have saved some.
Yeah.
And normally when, as you sit down, normally like when Rowland came out, All Hail the King would happen and everybody was very cheerful. You can tell that this room, a lot of the nobles say it very loudly, All Hail.
I echo.
Yeah, but like the bottom tier is not quite as loud.
So, John brought people that I told him to, right?
Remind me who you told him again.
I told him to bring the common people, because it's an open hearing.
Yeah, like I said, there are merchants, but there are commoners. There's it's a gaggle. It's a weirder mix than last time. There's dwarves there this time, like a surprising amount. There's people from the churches showed up for this one. This one is big. Not only is Bruce on trial again, which is very interesting to most people, John did get what it seems like to be a bunch of people. And then there's also, you see Kendra down there. Everyone you know is here. Let's say that.
Sandra,
Yeah.
Granlund.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely, because all the church heads.
Church heads. Definitely Granlund.
But she'd be in a different area, right?
She is down in the common. Hornig and the High Priest of Newman are actually on the second story with the nobles. She is down amongst the commoners. Not because she has to be.
Because she wants to.
Because she chooses to be. Because you're Hornig's guest, Mr. Grimm. If you look across the way, the other church heads are here as well. And he points out, that is the Deuce. People call him, if you've heard that term, I'm sure that's the one you know. But he's actually known as Robert II. He's the king's younger brother.
Oh, the one who doesn't deserve any power.
That's what people believe, yes.
Yes, of course.
But he's actually quite a capable ruler, but he is not a friend of the common folk. What his particular politics are, we'll find out today. This is the first time he will have no restrictions. His brother has been ill, but he's fully gone into some sort of sick coma.
Worrisome.
Next to him is Brandon, captain of the guard. Across from us, you will see the High Priest of Newman, and you see this man dressed in brightly yellow robes, and he has like a crown that's a sunburst. And swarthy-skinned, looks strong man. Like for a priest, he looks like fairly
Buff Daddy.
buff. Yeah, like he's tough. And next to him is the head of his Fists of Newman, the militant chapter. That would be Krieg. And next to him is a white-haired dwarf in very like the way I described it before, like that Sauron Witch King kind of style armor, but it's gold. So it gives it quite a different feel. Still very intimidating, but way less.
I think I've heard of that god.
Yes, Newman. Newman is our god of sun healing, and he's very popular among most of the nobility and even many of the common folk. You obviously know us, we're the Church of Moors.
Yes.
And there's 3 main religions. The one down below is the Church of Vespera, which not quite as big, but they do hold a certain sway among the feminine population and family-oriented people of the city. That is Granlin, the very large one. She's a half-giant.
Ah, yes, I've met her before.
Oh.
I've been in her church.
Oh, okay, so you're familiar with them, and next to her is one of her sisters, I believe she's Sandra. Across the way you will see Marquis Willen Bennett. And Willen Bennett is the head of the king's armies.
Huh.
Yes, he has headed out from Bruce for some time. I imagine most of these nobles wish to see him dead by the end of the day.
They aren't a fan of him or his kind?
Both.
Fair.
He, a long time ago when I was younger, 40 years ago, I don't know, he avenged himself upon a nobleman, which many believe was against the law.
Well, seems like an unworthy nobleman if he couldn't defend himself.
I mean, I don't think many could defend themselves from an angry Goliath. Bob, the Thane sitting next to you, is there anything you'd like to talk to the Thane about?
Basically, I sit there and fill the Thane in on any person he might be looking at.
Oh, okay, you're doing the same thing for... Okay.
Yes.
So say, like...
Except you could go over the more standard nobles if you wanted to.
Actually, you're pointing out, you can also fill him in on merchants. Like, you know the merchants very well. You're pointing...
Here's the merchant guilds, here's the...
Yeah, these people are in charge of this, these people are in charge of
I'm a
horse.
merchant family.
There's a difference in Jay's world between nobles and merchant nobles. Merchant nobles are just really rich merchants that can purchase their way into the higher caste.
Yeah.
Nobles that do mercantile are born in the high caste, regardless of what they do, and that's just where they happen to make more money.
Exactly. Thank you. That was a better way of putting it. So yeah, your family, they're merchants, but they're nobles first. Does that make sense? Also, as I stated, one of the big claim that your father has isn't that he's a merchant, it's that he commands the royal army. Yeah, so Bob points out key merchants, because one of the things that your Thane is very interested in is infiltrating and dominating this economy.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you have gathered is that you've told the Thane about this, like, it looks like we're gearing up for weaponry and a war, and the Thane is very much interested in that.
Yes. Also, one of the things I'm going to put on those little statues that the Church of Death is getting is from the dwarves.
And
from Bob.
Dylan, the same story from your father. Your father is trying to finally teach you court intrigue, and like he's telling you things about different people, and like he's giving you a rundown on key players. And he says, you claim to have memory issues, my son.
Not so much anymore.
Tell me, do you remember... He points at the Duke. It's the fat Duke that from the dinner party. Do you remember who he is?
I didn't pay attention to him.
Fair enough. He's not that important. He's Duke
all I know is he has some dealings that I can use if ever needed.
Yeah, he has a duchy far to the west, known as Santitas. We understand that he'll be... he's building a fort for some of our armies, actually. I'll introduce you to him later.
He's a pawn, not a knight or a bishop.
Yes. Yes. Good job. And then he said, do you recognize those two? And he points to the Church of Newman.
Those are knights. On the chessboard, Father.
And friends. Have you been to church lately, son?
Not since I lost my son.
I wish to take you soon. I think it'll be good for us.
I'm friends with one of them.
Oh,
Daedalus, I'm sure.
Oh, yes. That new one. He's young.
Very...
I don't know much about him.
Inspiring.
I'm sure. I hear he saved your life. I owe him something.
I helped him out, too.
Okay,
I think we're pretty even.
Oh, good. Then I won't give him anything.
Yeah.
And then, so everybody gets cut off in their little monologues, and...
All the little twittering.
Yeah, all their shuffling as...
Put your Twitters down.
And Brandon calls out for everyone to be quiet. And the Deuce speaks up, and he says, there are several important things that I wish to get out of the way.
At which point Bruce intercedes.
Oh, God.
No parking in the red zone.
And Bruce calls out very loudly,
Long live King Rowland, in good health and might.
He waves his hand, and the court mage standing next to you casts silence on you. Roll a check with disadvantage due to these chains.
What check?
I believe it's going to be a wisdom.
Wisdom?
It would have been a
I don't believe it's a save. I believe it's an area. It's just silent.
Is it?
Unless you're casting it specifically on Bruce.
Oh, okay. We can go with that. The point is similar.
6.
That's a d12.
It won't help you.
Watch this be worse.
Right.
No sound can be created within or pass through a 20-foot radius sphere centered on a point you choose within range. Any creature or object entirely inside the sphere is immune to thunder damage, and creatures are deafened while entirely inside it.
So it's an area, not a target now.
Yeah, it's a bubble.
Yeah.
You silence an area. That's kind of cool.
That's neat. Okay, so you're silenced.
I've used it before when stealthing.
After you get your Long Live King Rowland, and you guys all see, a lot of people on the bottom, they look like they're gonna start, but there are several...
Bruce gets silenced.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway... Well, yes, long live my brother. I hope he gets better. That is one of the things I wish to address. I am only your king for as long as it takes for my brother to get well. That being said, he has given me his express permission to rule without question. He says, and because of that, we are in trying times. We've had acts of terrorism on our own soil that I wish to address. Part of our city walls and the very foundations upon which we've built our town have been decimated by an explosion from unknown assailants. They were unknown. We have it on good authority that they were agents from Bree. And you hear a lot of mumbling and surprised shock, and and because of that, I wish to put forth, by the end of this, I am voting on war. And there's more gasping and muttering, and but there are other things to handle, and we will continue that in the end. In the meantime, I wish you all to ruminate upon it, because it is the most important thing we do here tonight.
Oh, no.
Centipede.
No. No. No.
Do you guys have anything that you guys want to mutter or talk about as due to that revelation? Or
I know better than to speak up.
Does it matter?
I will say something for you, but it's a time to RP.
Well,
You're done.
I don't know.
You
Matt.
do, but nobody knows what you say.
I don't know.
Actually, you literally
better than to
can't.
speak up.
Can you hear it?
No sound.
Yeah, no sound gets in. Yeah,
You can't hear anything where we are.
Okay, for now, yeah.
Yeah, 20 feet radius too.
Yeah.
Huge fucking.
That's very funny. Bruce missed that. All right,
Yeah.
he does not know. Yes.
Yeah, he has no idea.
Yeah, no, fair point. Yeah.
You don't know. Yeah.
So being that I don't know any better, in the pause I go, speaking to Hornig, but not really speaking to Hornig as I look forward. It's unwise for a weak king to go to war. loudly enough.
Silent.
I mean, it's not silent. People are all going.
Are all going.
But,
And all of a sudden,
everyone's,
silence as everybody
whispering,
goes.
and he's speaking normal.
Definitely everyone near him. Go ahead, roll con check. Let's see what kind of fucking...
How's your projection?
Yeah, let's see what kind of amplitude...
Like, are you a Strana or a Mitch?
Should I roll?
To here?
I'm in the noble area.
I have another D20.
I'm gonna roll me a random, distance
Oh,
here.
there it is. Well, that was silly. Let's go.
You know, for the sake of things, yeah, we're gonna put you guys within earshot of each other.
What was that first thing you rolled?
It was a D20 that went straight.
Roll a perception
into the
check,
book.
but you are within range to make one. If
So-
you wish to, Strana.
Boom.
Always.
15.
What am I adding to that?
Con.
Con. I'm saying it's a con check, just to see how loud you are.
Okay, 12.
Okay.
17.
16 to hear nothing. What do I
He's
hear?
doing it really well.
You hear nothing.
You hear nothing. It's
You hear
really
this?
good.
You're awesome at that.
Mop. You're sitting there going, mop. But it's just...
15 to hear.
You vaguely hear, and you look up, and you see a man who is tall and dressed like Mr. Grimm.
Grim.
And I just kind of go, oh. Oh no. And I just smile and put my hand under my chin and lean because last time I was here, I was him. So I get to see this from a third party perspective.
Oh wait,
no.
the most important role.
Oh no. That's a nat 20.
Who was that?
I speak to the thing.
Nat 20, listen from the deuce. Excuse me?
I feel like he should have advantage on hearing his own criticisms just because he's a nervous bitch.
I mean, he got a nat 20.
He
He doesn't
got a
need
nat
advantage.
20.
No, I'm just saying, though, like in
need-
general.
So before I do anything, is Hornig gonna do anything?
Mop.
Hornig who?
He had to go get a snack.
No.
I raise my hand.
Hornig, legit doesn't even... He doesn't look at you, but he does the same thing that
Where
Randall
it's
does.
cross legs, hand under chin, and just smile like, oh no.
Smiling into your palm, you know?
Oh no.
I raise my hand, not even up, just like
Slightly.
slightly.
Like a bid.
Yeah, who said that?
Hornig doesn't do anything, but he does place his hand on your knee.
I put 2 fingers in the air, and then I feel his hand on my knee, and I put them back down.
Twirls a fake mustache.
No one?
I speak to the thing quietly.
No one who says I'm weak has the courage to speak up, huh?
And now,
Oh, I'm sitting there.
Hornig takes his hand off your knee.
I'm sitting there.
Shots fired!
oh no, I said the king was weak. You're not the king.
Counter-Strike effective.
Dylan is
Roll a
not
charisma
smiling.
To not be instantly ejected
Okay.
from the Grand Slam.
It's not a good charisma check.
22 deception. I'm not smiling. I'm sitting prim and proper now.
You just like locked up. Right?
Alright.
Shaking my head. That's treason.
I can't laugh anymore.
So
As-
my first roll was a 6.
That isn't a roll against the douche. That is a roll for the people. So the way you deliver that doesn't come off as
They all
Comes
for
off
anyone in the room.
Comes off almost arrogant.
Yeah, it's incredibly arrogant.
Well, that's fine.
It
like
came
foolish.
off as petty, which
Like
it
petty-
was.
petty
but
and
Well,
foolish, yeah.
it was petty and foolish.
it
Yeah,
wasn't petty and inspiring.
fair enough. Well,
And,
I mean,
Listen, dice.
and then silence is removed from you as that same court mage casts silence on you.
What a miss.
Wait, that's a 20-foot radius. There are a bunch of nobles. I can't-
No, he's standing more or less alone. They're not going to put him near
No,
nobles.
him.
him, yeah, no, him.
That would silence the entire noble.
You see a bunch of nobles just get up and walk away from,
Where
they
you
all
are.
shuffle their seats
They
away.
need better seats.
Yeah.
Bop.
As I was saying, the other thing that we must address
The
is...
dwarves at this point are just going and tapping code
Bruce is raising his
at
hand.
each other's chairs.
Bruce is now standing again, and he's raising his hand.
I cast message and tell him he can't silence me.
On who? Who do you send the message to?
Oh, you fucking know who I sent the message to.
You literally can't, like, there's a 50% chance of failing spells, right?
No.
What?
What?
No, it depends.
Because it's...
Oh, no, if it requires
is
a
it verbal?
If it requires verbal, it cannot be used at all.
Because you can't. There's no sound in travel.
Go to your components.
Because remember, message is carrying a sound.
Can't do that one.
Can't cast it at all.
Can't do that one.
Yo. Question, though, is the deuce within 60 feet?
No. Big hall. But first, I would like to get out such sullied matters. We want to finish the court case. And this thing is smelling up my throne room.
As a citizen of Griffinport, I demand a recount of the first messages as they still pertain to me. I was silent. I was in a bubble of silence as a citizen of Griffinport. Those matters pertain to me, and I require that they are reiterated for me.
Brandon steps forward. You are currently a criminal being held in our dungeons, which means you don't have any rights.
America.
You are currently the puppet for a false king sitting on a throne that does not belong to him.
The deuce.
Does the common people right? No.
Yeah. There are commoners who are like saying, "Yeah, fuck you." But the deuce says he has rights, Brandon, but he has no one to stand for him. Does anyone in this entire room wish to represent the Goliath?
Isn't John supposed to be here?
John is here.
Bruce reaches to his left and picks up the guard next to him.
No, you can't. Like, you legit are chained.
Oh, okay.
There is nothing for you to
the
do.
ground, yeah.
That's what Bruce tried to do.
Okay.
Get over here.
It's more of a, I break loose of my chains and go him.
John's here. This room is silent. Your father's just sort of, you can feel him side-eyeing you. Bob, do you feel the need to speak? Like, the players right now have a chance, but, repercussions.
I see nothing.
Hold on.
I tap code to the dorm thing. Should we request at this point?
No, hold on. He's saying something.
He's trying to get something out.
Is
He
the
said
silence casted literally on me? And
It is
on your area.
It is centered on you.
So
You could leave it,
I
technically.
could still leave it.
You can't hear what was just said, or
you missed
But you could leave like the other nobles did.
After like a little bit and I hear him talking again, I'm gonna put my hand on Hornig's. Okay.
Hornig did not move.
I know he didn't. I'm gonna put my hand on Hornig's shoulder, and then I'm gonna use blink, and we're gonna be down where we're out of the range.
Okay.
Pink, pink.
So you take
So we
Hornig with
listen.
you? Can
Yeah.
you do that? Fuck it.
He's unresisting.
So you're down among commoners, hidden.
That's one of
Yeah.
the things.
Okay. Sure, fuck it.
So.
That took no verbal components.
I'll be
Check
sure.
that.
I will be sure.
It's a real
that took verbal.
Blink?
Blink, you can't cast it. Takes
Fuck,
verbal.
man.
I knew that was gonna.
Real
it's a
limits.
Verbal somatic.
Real limits.
Silence
Bitch.
is the classic anti-spell.
Yeah, it's the
That's-
anti-fucking mage thing. That's why
Sure
verbal.
is.
Yeah.
God dang. All right. Well then, never mind. I'll just tap on his shoulder, motion that we're leaving this thing.
So nobody stands up. You look and you see John with just his head down, and he's uncomfortable, but he's not doing it. And then finally, there's a few seats along the side that are very close to the king's, and a hand raises, and a voice says, "I wish to represent the Goliath."
Who?
And the man you know as Gavrilo stands up in front of the deuce. And the deuce gives him a look like, what?
The fuck, bro?
Dylan leans forward because I probably know of him now.
Bruce scratches his ass.
He has to turn a lot with the chained arms
Yeah,
and
it's
everything.
difficult. There's a lot of jangling.
Yes, I think that I wish to represent the large grey man. No one here will, and it's very unfair. And the deuce is seething through his teeth, and he says, "Very well. Sir Gavrilo, good friend of mine, I respect that decision. go stand by your defendant. And Gavrilo kind of jauntily goes over to Bruce and winks at you. And he says, I told you it'd be much more fun if you get away.
I deny my counsel on the grounds of being known party to the conspiracy of murder and assassination on behest of the king in standing, as documentation is able to prove.
Roll a persuasion.
Is everything I do disadvantage? What are the chains doing?
Nothing to your persuasion.
Nothing.
Okay,
It's all physical.
physical stuff. Okay.
Physical, and if they cast spells on you.
Okay.
It makes it very easy for them to manipulate you
Man,
magically.
almost got a 4, barely missed it. 11.
11.
My plus 0, it's an 11.
Yeah, so half the room feels like it's leaning toward what you just said, or it's like weirded out by that. Another half chuckles at that thought. And the Deuce says, and why would he then decide to represent you if he is what you say?
I think we can all say that if we're to lay in bed with someone, we lay in bed with the man that has a dick and a spine.
Bruce casts Evil Eye on the Deuce.
Oh.
Roll a check. Hold on.
I mean,
I think it's the deuce.
To use the evil eye,
Because
it's
the
being
thing is-
restricted, yeah. But it's an artifact, so I'll give you the chance. I don't want to use Arcana because I know it'll be dicks for you. Oh, I want to use something that's better.
really?
Probably a
That's
stat
better
check.
hit than me.
My Arcana is +1.
Target roll. It's int, right? I was thinking
it's
roll
anything.
wisdom. Roll wisdom. That's your willpower.
It's to say, wisdom's just.
You just
Okay,
roll.
sorry, yeah.
It's like a skill check, but just
Yeah,
a
yeah.
skill.
Side
Am I
note,
doing disadvantage?
Side note. I want a minor illusion that me and Hornig are still up there so that they don't bother us after we leave. So it looks like we're still sitting right in their silence.
Is that with disadvantage?
Not for this. I'm already forcing you to make a check
19.
just to use an ability. So.
19.
Alright, on who?
The Deuce.
So just evil. You know that's like a combat thing, right? You keep doing it too.
Because that's everything I'm going to be doing is intimidate check on the Deuce from here on out.
Okay.
And I'm planning on murdering the Deuce today. So yes, on the Deuce.
Okay. You hit him with that evil eye, and you can see him shiver, and it's and he once again stares at you, and he waves again at the mage who casts silence on you again. Gavrila takes a nice step forward and gets out of it.
Bruce says the only thing he can. He turns around and gives the Deuce the brown eye.
He's got both eyes on him.
So there's some cheers from the lower sections, but this isn't going well for your court here. Your father, Willen, goes, oh good, we're gonna see the Goliath beheaded today.
I'm rubbing the bridge of my nose and just... I think I have a small nosebleed, and I'm just wiping it away.
The aneurysm's kicking back
Yeah.
in.
Newman truly is blessing us today, my son. We're gonna watch the Goliath die.
Flinch a little at the Newman thing. Other nostril begins bleeding a little. Wipes that away.
The other aneurysm flares back up.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so there's silence on you, and so from this point, you can't hear what Gavrilo is saying. Gavrilo is laying down his case.
Bruce is also still talking.
That's fine. Nobody can hear you. Well, you can hear again now, no matter where you are. They start filtering back in around your illusion, because they can sit there again. Mm-hmm. But you're down among the common people, and you hear Gavrilo laying out this case for Bruce. He basically states that Bruce is a member of the City Watch, and we know this for a fact. He's done good deeds for the city. Ever since his incarceration, which he did legally and was released, he has been nothing but a boon to the city. These acts against me, and quite frankly, just me, I am a stranger in a foreign land, and he does not know me, and since I have arrived, he seems to have gotten the idea that I am the cause of all his trouble. And for that reason, this simple misunderstanding, I wish to say very simply in his defense that I'm not pressing charges.
Bruce is flying fingers at this point.
Brandon is like fucking just staring with his mouth agape. Everyone, Bruce, you can't hear this, but everyone, you can see that everyone in the entire place has stopped and is staring at Gavrilo.
I'm just staring down, mouth agape, like piece of cloth in my nose, just like, what the fuck?
Bruce gives him an eyebrow.
Gavrilo turns around and just gives you a big thumbs up and a smile.
Bruce does not return anything happy.
I think this Goliath has much more to give to the city, and I wish him the chance to do so. I will do my best to make amends with this person, and I will help him get to the bottom of whatever crimes he seems to think have been committed.
For those of you in the audience who can lip read, I will slit your fucking throat. You slime-drinking, slithering worm of a serpent, lower than the lowest of all incarnations.
This goes on for a while, and Dylan's just in there like, Father, do you want to know what he's saying?
No.
I wish I didn't.
I'm behind him. I couldn't see what he was... even, no matter what, I couldn't... He's not facing me.
Mm-hmm. So, the Deuce waves, and he says, "Fine. Gavrilo, you know what you're doing, I'm sure. Guards, take him away and have him released. Yeah, released. That's fine. I will move on to the more important matter of war."
And I just look at my dad like, what the
Oh, back to this again.
Mm-hmm.
There's a silence around Bruce.
And it's quite simple. As you're carted off in silence, the lip reading. Is there more?
So they cart me off. That means they unchain me from the ground.
From the ground.
Oh no.
Only means
Where's Gavrilo?
So
20 feet away outside the range of the silence.
Never mind.
I can't quite throw a guard that far.
Maybe a lighter one you could.
Yeah, maybe a lighter one, but these guys are all armored.
Fucking
shit.
plate.
Fucking plate mail, add another like 75 pounds and shit.
You're just here trying to do some guard tossing.
He's moved up to the major leagues. You know?
But what is important is eventually I leave that 20-foot circle.
Because it's stationary.
And I don't think the king can hear me. But I'm gonna try. And Bruce uses inspiration.
Your friend, the young guard's like giving you a thumbs up, like, "This is good news, Bruce," as you step out of the silence.
Long live King Rowland! Health, victory, and success.
As the doors close.
Your father is seething.
I'm in
like
shock.
The Deuce, yeah.
I'm in shock. And I don't have to roll deception for this one.
Yeah. And the Thane leans over.
Does anyone tell Bruce he's not going to be executed?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, your friend gave you the thumbs up. Like,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
All right.
That.
So you've got to think things.
Okay, there is an indication that everything will be not immediately murder these guards. Okay,
Yes.
got it.
Good thumbs up. Everything's this is good. Like he's smart, like legitimately happy. I mean, you could roll insight. You could fail that. The Thane turns to Bop. He's like, "Well, that was unexpected."
I had no inkling of this. This is very unusual. Which is...
Isn't... Bruce attacked that man, isn't he? Is he
yes.
related to the assault on you and your friends?
No. I have to look more into this Gavrilo character.
And then there's a vote that starts going on. He starts talking about how we've been attacked. He goes back into that spiel about there's been acts of terror, like we've been terrorized. We have an enemy. They've attacked our city. And there's a bunch of votes, but before anyone can begin, Mother Granlund raises her hand. And she's like, there was one more act that was promised this session. And the Deuce comes up kind of short and excuse me, Mother Granlund? What do you mean? You promised we would vote on a people's noble.
Yeah. Dylan's like a little shocked, then immediately plays it off like, huh.
Yes, you promised us that we would elect a noble for the people from the common folk to represent our vote.
You see Dylan just adding a bunch of math? Oh my god.
Vote Bruce 2019.
Huh?
Vote Bruce 2019.
I lean to my father. Well, I did live among them.
I believe they have to be unnoble.
Shame. I could use another title.
Yes, that would be very handy, but I don't believe that that's going to fly.
Rats.
It's a shame that you actually came out. We probably could have gotten away with it before anyone knew you were my son.
Well, have you told anyone that you've taken me back in?
Yes.
Obvious.
Damn it.
It's you sitting next to him in a royal court.
Suddenly well dressed.
Listen, man, I can move very fast away.
No, legit.
I'll get naked.
Legit, depending on how that court hearing went, it could have been Bruce, but I gotta feel like Bruce didn't represent himself particularly
No.
nobly.
And I lean back to my father and say, shame, I'm actually friends with Granlund.
The Deuce waves off Granlund and said, yes, we'll elect a noble right after we vote on this very important matter. Granlund raises her hand again and says, no, I believe that if we vote one in, that vote should count here.
She makes a valid point.
Who is that man?
I got rid of the last.
Where is that voice coming from?
Yeah, because it's...
Randall steps up to defend himself. Wait, no, it's not me this time.
I immediately, like, about to pin it on someone. I'm like, ooh, not me this time.
Immediately ready to point out that random dude again.
Yeah.
That same guy.
Son of a bitch.
So, a lot of names start getting thrown around, and the Deuce tries to corral everybody, and Brandon yells for silence. And then he tries to cast a vote with all the nobles, saying, okay, let's take a vote and elect a noble for the people, who... And once again, Granlund raises her hand, and she says, if the people would wish to have a noble, then they should elect him. We wish to postpone your vote on war so that we can create a petition.
She brings up a valid point yet again.
She raises her hand and she says, I posit that the heads of these churches gathered and we ask our respective flocks and we will get a vote for you by the next week.
Valid?
Well,
Newman,
Newman, the head of Newman raises his hand and he says, it will take us much longer to do that. Our flock's much bigger than yours. We will need at least end of month. And the Deuce is irate, barely holding it together. And finally he says, fine, we will postpone this. Even though I am king and I have the right to overthrow you, that would not be what a good king would do. So we will wait till end of month, and you will give us your people's noble. So
You're no king! And I walk away.
who is that man?
Silence.
So Bruce is released, and everyone leaves. You're dumped outside the city gates. And it's like, that went well? Sorry, castle gates.
I missed a lot of what was going on in there. What the hell happened?
Well, I missed it too. I was standing right next to you. But you got let off. That Gavrila guy, he really helped you out. That was nice of him.
He's a murderer and an assassin.
What?
Yep.
Do you still need me to do those things for you?
I think you need you to do those things for you.
Oh. Okay. Ominous. Right.
Fair. Yeah, fair.
You know I have a dad, right?
I mean, I do too. I fail to see what the question... What?
All right, and
On that note,
Meet your new stepdaddy.
right, and it's it's the end of the day, and everybody filters out, and the sun sets, and Rowland steps up behind you. Hello, Bruce. It's good to see you, Gotov.
I don't trust it.
You shouldn't.
Still gonna kill him.
Yes,
I promised.
I'm sure you will.
Too bad.
And that night, do you sleep at the tinderbox?
Fuck no.
Where do you go?
Bruce leaves.
To where?
Outside.
Where?
Outside where?
Tell me what that means, dude.
The woods, nearby.
Okay.
Oh, outside the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bruce
Fine.
leaves.
But I do need that explicitly stated. So he's outside in the woods, and where do you guys go? Where do we end your days?
I go find Tigawog. I have a wondrous idea for an invention.
Oh no.
Can we kill it?
As soon as possible.
I go back to my home, open my door, grab the thing of salt.
Master Dylan.
Hello. And I reapply the line of salt by my door.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Solstice episode.
It's on my
All right.
windows and my doors.
Fantastic.
And I look at the servant and set down the can. Is dinner ready?
Yes, but we're out of salt.
I pour some in their hand.
Thank you. What does the skeleton do?
And then I go paint in my room.
Okay.
Mr. Grimm will walk away with Hornig. Probably have a discussion about what happened. Hornig will be like, "You said things."
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No, that's legit. That's... So, you said some shit.
Of course.
You shouldn't do that. Like, you really just don't open your mouth in court ever again. That would be great. At least not when I'm sitting directly next to you.
I can at least do you that favor.
Thank you. Or at least warn me. I'll go take a piss.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah. Just tell me and I'll walk away. It'd be good.
Fair.
I don't think I'm going to bring you next time on it. I think that you should probably just find your own. Not that I don't like you, but I'm not taking you to a function like that again. Nope.
That's fair. But I have only one question for you.
Hit me.
Was I wrong?
Hello again, everyone, and thank you for joining us on Torchlit Tavern. We hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we hope you will continue to enjoy many episodes in the future. Don't forget to like us and rate us on wherever you listen, and don't forget to share us with everybody you know so our podcast can grow. Also, don't forget to follow our show on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Podbean, Apple Podcast, or whatever your preferred podcasting service is. And furthermore, should you wish to follow our lovely players in their epic journeys, you can follow them at the following locations.
Hey guys, it's Ryan, favorite Warlock Roy, and you can find me on Twitter at RyanSCB Santos.
You can find your favorite DM, Jameson Oxford, on Twitter at Agent Beige.
And you can find your Skeleman himself, the gentleman, Mr. Grimm, at big_J_the_bad_man on Twitter.
And you can find your good boy Dylan on Twitter at Argo Omega. Fuck your warlock.
Rude.